Hello students, welcome to Tungala online classes. So in this session we will be studying angle between two lines in the space, and we will be studying about shortest distance between skew lines. Okay. So first see angle between two lines in space. In first year, if you remember straight lines, we studied how to find the angle between two lines, okay, in 2D geometry. Okay. How do we find the angle between two lines? By using tan theta equal to modulus of m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2, where m1 is the slope of first line and m2 is the slope of second line. Okay. So that is in 2D we studied, but here there is no concept of slope in the space. Okay. So how do we find the angle between two lines in the space? Okay. So let us take two lines. Now we will be studying both vector and Cartesian form of lines. First we will study in vector form. Okay. Everything about in 3D we will be studying in two forms. One is vector form, another is Cartesian form. So in vector form, suppose we have two lines. Let L1 is the equation r bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar, and second line L2 r bar equal to a2 bar plus mu b2 bar be two lines in the space. Okay. These are the two lines in the space we are taking. So if you observe r bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar, in the last class we derived the equation of line in the space r bar equal to a bar plus lambda b bar. So this form of line will be used more. Okay. So what is r bar equal to a bar plus lambda b bar represents? It represents a straight line in the space passing through the point with position vector a bar. This is a line L passing through the point A with position vector a bar. The line is passing through this point, and what is b bar here? It is a parallel vector. The line is parallel to this vector b bar. So this is a notation already we studied in the last class. So here first line we are taking as r bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar. What is the meaning? Passing through point with position vector a1 bar and parallel to the vector b1 bar. And second line is passing through the point with position vector a2 bar and is parallel to the vector b2 bar. Okay. So when lines are given like this, now we need the angle between these two lines. Okay. Suppose this is the first line we are taking L1, and this is the second line L2. Now we need angle between these two lines. Suppose theta is the angle between the two lines. So actually two angles exist. Now one angle is theta, means what is the other angle between the two lines? We can take 180 minus theta. Usually we will be taking acute angle. So we have to find this theta, angle between these two lines. Now observe here, the first line is parallel to the vector b1 bar. This is the first line. It is parallel to the vector b1 bar. So parallel vector b1 bar I can draw like this. Next, the second line is parallel to vector b2 bar. So I can draw parallel vector to the line L2. It is b2 bar. Understand? So first line is parallel to b1 bar and second line is parallel to b2 bar. So here we can observe one thing. When these two vectors are parallel to these two lines, so the angle between the two lines will be same as angle between these two vectors b1 bar and b2 bar. Okay. Since these are free vectors, we can move these free vectors anywhere in the space without changing its magnitude and direction. Okay. So without changing the magnitude and direction, I can move this vector anywhere in the space without changing magnitude and direction. So if I am moving this vector b1 bar up to this point, so this will be the direction of b1 bar, and if I move this vector b2 bar up to this point, so this will be the direction of b2 bar. So clearly the angle between two lines will be same as the angle between these parallel vectors. So this is the important point. Angle between the two lines L1 and L2 is same as the angle between their parallel vectors b1 bar and b2 bar. So this point you have to understand here. Okay, the angle between the lines will be same as the angle between their parallel vectors b1 bar and b2 bar. So let theta be the angle between L1 and L2. So we have to find that theta. Now when two vectors are known, how to find the angle between the two vectors? We know by using dot product we can find the angle between two vectors, and also using cross product we can find the angle between two vectors. Now dot product will be more easier to simplify. So by using dot product, what is cos theta? Angle between b1 bar and b2 bar. Okay, so I will draw. This is b1 bar and this is the direction of b2 bar. So this is the angle theta. Using dot product we can find angle between two vectors. Cos theta is equal to b1 bar dot b2 bar divided by magnitude of b1 bar into magnitude of b2 bar. So this is the formula, okay, for finding the angle between two vectors, angle between two lines when they are given in a vector form. Okay, so we are taking the angle between the vectors b1 bar and b2 bar, which is same as angle between the two lines. Okay, this is in a vector form. Now how do we write in a Cartesian form? In Cartesian form, what is b1 bar means? Parallel vector to first line. So here b1 bar I can take as a1i plus b1j plus c1k. Next, b2 bar I can take as a2i plus b2j plus c2k. Okay, these are the parallel vectors to first line and second line I am taking. So using this vector form, now we can derive the Cartesian form. So in Cartesian form, what is cos theta? I can write b1 dot b2 divided by magnitude of b1 magnitude of b2 bar. Okay, always Cartesian form is derived from vector form only. So in vector form we have b1 bar dot b2 by magnitude of b1 magnitude of b2. So these vectors b1 b2 we know they are parallel vectors. So parallel vectors I am taking like this in terms of dr's, a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. So substitute here, what is b1 dot b2 dot product? It is a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 divided by magnitude of b1 bar. What is the magnitude of b1 bar? Root of a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square into root of magnitude of b2 bar is a2 square plus b2 square plus c2 square. So this is the angle between two lines formula in Cartesian form. Okay, so sometimes equation of lines will be given in vector form, sometimes they will be given in a Cartesian form. Okay, so using these formulas we can find the angle between two lines. Understand? So both forms you have to remember. Okay. Right. Now we will write in both the forms. that is in vector form and Cartesian form, and how do we write the angle here. Okay. So, first I will write in vector form. Next here I will write Cartesian form. So, in vector form we know the lines L1 r bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar, and second line r bar equal to a2 bar plus mu b2 bar. So, what is the angle between the two lines we are writing? Cos theta, it is b1 bar dot b2 bar divided by magnitude of b1 into magnitude of b2. This is we are writing in vector form. Now, whereas in Cartesian form, what is the equation of line I can write? X minus x1 by a1 is equal to y minus y1 by b1 is equal to z minus z1 by c1, and second line x minus x2 by a2 is equal to y minus y2 by b2 is equal to z minus z2 by c2. These are the equations of lines in Cartesian form. Okay. So, in Cartesian form, what are a1, b1, c1 here? a1, b1, c1 are the drs of parallel vector, or we can consider these as drs of the line itself, because line and vector are parallel. So, when two lines or vectors are parallel, what we know, drs are proportional. Anyway, drs are always proportional numbers. So, drs of parallel vector we can take it as same as drs of the line itself. So, a1, b1, c1 are the drs of first line, and a2, b2, c2 are the drs of second line. So, cos theta, angle between the two lines, we are writing using the drs of two lines. So, it is a1, a2 plus b1, b2 plus c1, c2 divided by root of a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square into root of a2 square plus b2 square plus c2 square. Okay. Cartesian form we are deriving using this vector form. Okay. So, when lines are given in these two forms, we are finding the angle between these two. Next. Now, there will be some particular cases we take here. What if the lines are parallel, or what if the lines are perpendicular? Okay. What conditions we can write? So, if the lines are parallel, L1 is parallel to L2. Okay. So, first case we take here. If L1 is parallel to L2, then what we can write in vector form? L1 is parallel to L2 means lines are parallel, means their parallel vectors are also parallel. B1 bar, B2 bar are parallel. So, B1 bar, B2 bar are parallel means I can write B1 bar as some scalar. Okay. Lambda mu already used. Okay. Suppose B1 bar equal to some S into B2 bar, where S is a scalar. Okay. Two vectors are parallel means one vector we can write a scalar multiple of the other vector. So, two lines are parallel, then their parallel vectors are also parallel. So, I am writing B1 bar equal to S into B2 bar, and here L1 is parallel to L2. What is the condition? Two lines are parallel means their dr should be proportional. Drs of first line we know, drs of second line we know. So, drs are proportional means a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Okay. So, lines are parallel, these are the conditions. Next, if the lines are perpendicular, L1 is perpendicular to L2, then lines are perpendicular means their parallel vectors are also perpendicular. Suppose this is L1 and this is L2. L1 is parallel to B1 bar and L2 is parallel to B2 bar. Now, lines are perpendicular means their parallel vectors are also perpendicular. B1 is perpendicular to B2. Now two lines are perpendicular, their parallel vectors are perpendicular. So what are the parallel vectors here? b1 b2. Now b1 b2 are perpendicular means their dot product should be 0. b1 dot b2 should be 0, right? Next here, in Cartesian form lines are perpendicular. So lines are perpendicular means theta is 90. So theta 90 means cos 90 should be 0. So this is 0 means cross multiplying will get 0. So second case, L1 is perpendicular to L2, then this is 0 into this will be 0. So what we get? A1 A2 plus B1 B2 plus C1 C2 should be equal to 0. Understand? So these are the two special cases we are taking where the lines are parallel or perpendicular. Okay. So in any form the problem is given, maybe vector form or Cartesian form, we have to remember these conditions. Understand? So this is about angle between two lines. Now instead of giving drs, suppose if they mention about DCs, then how do we write the angle between two lines? Okay, suppose if L1, M1, N1 and L2, M2, N2 be DCs of lines L1 and L2 respectively, then what is cos theta I can write here? Angle between the two lines. If DCs are given, instead of drs, if DCs are given, we can write the angle between the two lines again using the same formula. Instead of writing drs, we have to write DCs. So cos theta will be L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2. Now here we don't have to divide by root of L1 square plus M1 square plus N1 square. Now why we don't have to divide here? Because what is L1 square plus M1 square plus N1 square? Where L1, M1, M1 are DCs means we know the relation between DCs L square plus M square plus N square is 1. So this will be 1. So root of 1 is 1. This is also 1. So no need to divide that 1. Okay. So cos theta, it is the angle between two lines in terms of DCs. L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is the angle between two lines. Okay, cos theta. So since here L1 square plus M1 square plus N1 square is 1, and also L2 square plus M2 square plus N2 square is 1. So that's why we are not dividing that. If they are not DCs, then we have to divide this square root. Understand? Right. So this is about the angle between two lines. Okay. So when we solve the problems, clearly you will understand how to take this angle. Okay. So next we will be studying about skew lines. Skew lines. Okay. So what are these skew lines? The lines in the space which are neither parallel and nor intersecting. So that type of lines are called as the skew lines. Okay. So lines in the space, which are neither intersecting nor parallel are called as skew lines. So this type of lines will exist in the space where the lines are neither intersecting nor parallel. Okay, lines are neither intersecting nor parallel, means they are not intersecting at any point and also they are not parallel. So such lines are called as the skew lines. Now see in 2D space, first I will explain in 2D, then we extend to 3D. So in case of 2D geometry, we studied about straight lines. So in 2D geometry, that is in the xy plane, in xy plane, any two lines you take, suppose this is first line L1, this is second line L2, any two lines you take, how the two lines in the plane we have only two type of lines, one is parallel lines, another is intersecting lines. In the plane we can have only two type of lines, which are parallel lines or intersecting lines. Observe these two lines, are they parallel? They are not parallel. Now they are not parallel means compulsory they will be intersecting at some point. So even though they are not intersecting here, now straight line is what? It is extended up to infinite on both sides. So if I extend these lines like this, so somewhere they will be intersecting, somewhere they will be intersecting. So the lines in the plane either they will be intersecting or they will be parallel. Okay, so this L1 L2 are intersecting. If I take L3 and this is L4, these are parallel, they will never intersect. So there are only two type of lines which are either parallel or intersecting in the plane, that is in 2D geometry. Whereas in the space, so in the space also there will be parallel lines and there will be intersecting lines. And apart from these two, there is one more type of lines which exist, they are called skew lines, which are neither parallel nor intersecting. Okay, so how do we imagine these lines? Okay, since it is in the space, it is not possible to show on the board. Okay, imagine that there are two lines in the space like this. Okay, one line is passing through this marker, another line is passing through this marker. Okay, so if the lines are like this, they are intersecting. Okay, two lines are intersecting at this point. Suppose if the lines are like this, they are parallel. Okay, this is one line, this is second line. So imagine that line is passing through this marker. So these lines are parallel lines and these lines are intersecting lines. Now one more type of lines exist in the space like this. One line is passing through here, another line is passing through here. Now are they parallel? They are not parallel. Are they intersecting? They will never intersect. Okay, line is extended up to infinite here, another line is extended up to infinite here. So are these lines parallel? Not parallel, and they are not intersecting also. So this type of lines are called as the skew lines. Understand? So the lines in the space which are neither parallel and nor intersecting are called as the skew lines, and these skew lines exist only in the space. In the plane or 2D geometry, they don't exist skew lines, because any lines we take in the plane, they must be intersecting or they must be parallel. So it is not possible to take the skew lines in the plane. So they exist only in the space. So now we will be studying about this skew lines. Okay. So let us see this skew lines diagrammatically. See these lines. Okay, so we are considering the space I am considering in the form of cube. Okay, so in this cube, see that lines, one line is passing through this BD, so this is one line, another line is passing through this GE. Another line is passing through GE. So, are these two lines parallel? They are not parallel. And are they intersecting? They are not intersecting also. So, these lines we can take as skew lines. Okay. Next, another example. So, this is a space we are considering. Now, one line I am taking here, this green marked line. Okay. Another line we are taking like this red marked line. So, this will be extended up to infinite and this will be extended up to infinite. So, are they intersecting? They are not intersecting. Are they parallel? They are not parallel also. So, these lines are called as the skew lines. You can imagine, just we can consider like this, two lines like this I am taking. So, these two lines are forming the skew lines. Understand? So, in 3D geometry, we have to imagine the things. Okay. Without imagination, we cannot understand this easily. Okay. So, just imagine, think, then we will better understand about these concepts, right. Now, in this skew lines, we are interested in finding the shortest distance between these skew lines. Shortest distance between the skew lines. Shortest distance between skew lines. So, derivation is important. For 5 marks type of question, this derivation may be asked. Derive the shortest distance between the skew lines. Okay. Now, how do we take the shortest distance between these skew lines? Okay. So, many distance will be possible between two skew lines. Now, out of all this distance, okay, assume that this is the distances we are taking. So, out of all this, we are interested in only in the shortest distance. Okay. So, like this distance. This distance is what we are interested, that is the shortest distance between the skew lines. Okay. See the diagrammatically here, like this. There is one line here passing through these points. Another line is like this. So, these are not parallel and also these are not intersecting. Okay. So, we have to imagine these things in the space. So, these are neither parallel nor intersecting. So, these are the skew lines. Now, we are finding the shortest distance between these skew lines. Okay. So, actually many distance exist like this, like this. So, out of all this distance, we are interested only in the shortest distance between the skew lines. Now, when the distance will be shortest, when the distance is shortest, now first we will explain in between point and line. Suppose there is a point given P and there is a line L. Now, what is mean by the distance of point from the line? Distance of point from the line means actually we can take infinitely many distance like this. This is the distance of point from line, this is also distance of point from line, this is also distance of point from line, like this. So, there exist infinitely many distances, but out of all these distances, which distance we will be considering, whether it is mentioned or not mentioned, always we consider the perpendicular distance. Okay. So, from the point, if you draw perpendicular onto the line, where it is meeting the line. So, if I measure the distance along these points, that will be the required distance between point and line. Understand? So, whenever we are finding the distance, it means we are finding the shortest distance, and that will be found by taking the perpendicular. It is from point and line. If there are two lines, we studied about distance between parallel lines in first year. If there are two lines L1 and L2, so what will be the distance between these two lines means, again you take any one point here and any one point here, we can measure the distance. This is one distance, this is other distance, this is other distance, like this. So, many distance will exist, but out of all these distances, which distance we are interested here? Only in the distance where we are measuring like this. we are measuring the distance along a line which is perpendicular to both the lines. So it should be perpendicular to first line, it should be perpendicular to second line. If I measure the distance along this line which is perpendicular to both the lines, then only we get the shortest distance. Okay. So whether it is mentioned or not mentioned, distance means always we are taking the distance along a line which will be perpendicular to both the lines, in this case perpendicular to the given line. Understand? So this is how we are finding the distance in 2D. So similarly in 3D also we are having the skew lines. Now which distance we are finding here? The shortest distance. That is, we are measuring the distance along a line which will be perpendicular to first line and also perpendicular to the second line. So this distance we are interested in finding here. Understand which type of distance we are finding here? Now we will derive that equation. Okay, how to find a formula for distance between these skew lines. Now since these lines it is not possible to show on the plane, so just imagine that there exist two skew lines. So first we will derive the equation in vector form, then we will derive the formula in Cartesian form. Okay. So first we take in vector form, shortest distance between skew lines. Let us take the lines, let L1, equations I will take r bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar, and L2 r bar equal to a2 bar plus mu b2 bar, be two skew lines. Observe carefully, derivation is important for 5 marks type. So first we are taking the two skew lines L1 and L2, and we need the distance between these two. Let D be the shortest distance between L1 and L2. Let D be the shortest distance between these two lines L1 and L2. Okay. Now let us take the two lines. Suppose this is the first line L1 and this is the second line L2. As I told, it is not possible to show the skew lines in the plane. So you may say that these are intersecting somewhere, they are not skew lines. Okay. So assume that these are skew lines. Okay. Now what is L1 here? R bar equal to a1 bar plus lambda b1 bar. So what is the meaning of this? It is passing through the point with position vector a1 bar and parallel to the vector b1 bar. So first line is passing through the point suppose A with position vector a1 bar, and it is parallel to the vector b1 bar. This is the parallel vector b1 bar. Next, second line is passing through the point with position vector a2 bar. I will take that point as B. So second line is passing through this point and it is parallel to b2 bar vector. It is parallel to the vector b2 bar. Now we are interested in the distance. Now how do we measure the distance? Along a line which is perpendicular to both L1 and L2. We measure the distance along a line. So this distance we are measuring along a line which will be perpendicular to first line and also perpendicular to the second line. Suppose this is a point P and Q. So the distance PQ is nothing but the required distance D. Understand? So if I measure the distance along a line which is perpendicular to both the lines, okay, so that distance will be the shortest distance. Now see how to find this distance D. So clearly here, first we need a normal vector which is perpendicular to both the lines L1 and L2. So how do we take the normal vector perpendicular to both L1 and L2? The normal vector is perpendicular to L1 and L2 means it will be perpendicular to B1 and B2 also, because B1, B2 are parallel to this lines. Okay, so here first we write about the normal vector. So here the vector perpendicular to both L1 and L2. Now perpendicular to both L1 and L2 means it is same as perpendicular to both B1 and B2. Perpendicular to both B1 bar and B2 bar is n bar is equal to. So how do we get the vector which is perpendicular to both the given vectors? In cross product we studied. So what is the vector A bar cross B bar? It is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. So since we are interested in vector perpendicular to both B1 and B2, it is nothing but B1 cross B2. So normal vector I can take as B1 bar cross B2. Understand? So this is a normal vector I can write. Next, we can write the vector PQ bar. How do we write the vector PQ bar? Vector PQ bar is having the magnitude of D. Okay, magnitude is D. And what is the direction of PQ bar? Direction of PQ bar is same as direction of this n bar, because n bar is perpendicular to both L1 and L2 and PQ is perpendicular to both L1 and L2. So direction of PQ and direction of n bar is same. Understand? So how can you write the vector PQ bar now? We know the direction and we know the magnitude. So again this concept we studied in vectors. Vector in the direction of A bar having magnitude lambda is vector in the direction of A bar having magnitude lambda is lambda times A cap we are writing. So using that concept, PQ bar is a vector in the direction of n bar and having magnitude of D. So here PQ bar is a vector in the direction of n bar and having magnitude D and having magnitude of D. So how can you write vector PQ bar here? PQ bar is D times n cap. Vector in the direction of A bar having magnitude lambda, we are writing as lambda into A cap. So here PQ bar is vector in the direction of n bar having magnitude of D. So PQ bar I can write as D into n cap. D into what is n cap? N cap means normal vector. So n bar you know, what is the n cap? Vector divided by its magnitude is a unit vector. So it is B1 bar cross B2 bar divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. So this is a vector PQ bar. Understand? Now we know the vector PQ bar. Now I can find the vector AB bar by joining this 2 points. So what is AB bar here? AB bar I can write as OB minus OA. What is OB minus OA? OB bar is position vector of B. It is A2 minus A1. Okay. So AB bar we know and PQ bar we know. Let us take theta is the angle between this AB bar and PQ bar. Okay. Since this is a PQ bar, I am moving this up to here. Okay. Imagine that the vector PQ bar we are moving up to here. So we will get PQ bar here like this. Just you have to imagine. Understand? I am taking the angle between these two as theta. Imagine that PQ bar we are moving up to here and theta is the angle between this PQ bar and AB bar. Okay. So let theta be the angle between PQ bar and AB bar. Now see, now we can find this theta by using two forms. One is right angle triangle. So observe this AQB. So this is forming right angle triangle. So cos theta we can find using right angle triangle, and also using dot product. AB bar is one vector, PQ bar is another vector. Using dot product also we can find the angle between these two. So any method we use, the angle will be same only. So we will use this two forms to derive that distance d here. So from triangle AQB, what is cos theta? What will be cos theta here? So cos theta is nothing but, this is a right angle triangle, adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is PQ, hypotenuse is AB. Now we need its magnitude. So cos theta can be written as magnitude of PQ divided by magnitude of AB bar. Suppose this is equation 1. Understanding? I am taking this triangle here AQB. In this triangle, cos theta we are finding adjacent by hypotenuse. Now same cos theta by using dot product. By dot product, what is cos theta? I can write angle between two vectors AB bar and PQ bar. So it is PQ bar dot AB bar divided by magnitude of PQ bar into magnitude of AB bar. Okay, using the dot product, cos theta, angle between AB bar and PQ bar, it is PQ bar dot AB bar divided by their magnitudes. So whether it is right angle triangle or dot product, the theta remains same. So from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, we can equate these two. Magnitude of PQ bar divided by magnitude of AB bar is equal to PQ bar dot AB bar divided by magnitude of PQ bar, magnitude of AB bar. So magnitude of AB bar will get cancel on both sides. What is magnitude of PQ bar? The length of PQ is nothing but the distance d required. So this is d is equal to PQ dot AB. What is PQ bar? Now we derived the PQ bar vector. It is d into B1 cross B2 divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. So PQ bar is nothing but d into B1 bar cross B2 bar divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. This is PQ bar. Dot product with AB bar. What is AB bar? It is A2 minus A1 divided by magnitude of PQ. What is magnitude of PQ is nothing but d. Understand? PQ bar is this vector d into B1 cross B2 divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. Dot product with AB bar. So AB bar we know A2 minus A1 divided by, this is already cancelled. Now remaining is magnitude of PQ bar. What is magnitude of PQ bar is nothing but d. So this d will get cancelled. So what is the required distance d? I can write B1 bar cross B2 bar dot A2 minus A1 divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. Understand? Now this is cross product and this is dot product. Now sometimes dot product and cross product can be negative also, but distance cannot be negative, as distance is non-negative. So we will take a modulus of this. Whatever the value we get, we have to take its modulus. So therefore distance d equal to modulus of B1 cross B2 dot A2 minus A1 divided by magnitude of B1 cross B2. So whatever the value we are getting here, just we are taking the modulus so that distance is non-negative. Understand? So this is a formula for finding the distance between skew lines when they are given in vector form. Okay, so this is in vector form only. Still derivation is not complete. Okay, derivation is completed only when we write in Cartesian form also. Okay, so we have to extend this to Cartesian form now. Note down all this. So don't think that the problem is completed here. We have to derive in Cartesian form also. Remember that. Okay, so please note down this. Now we will derive in Cartesian form also. See, now in Cartesian form, two lines, let us consider their equations. Let L1 x minus x1 by a1 is equal to y minus y1 by b1 is equal to z minus z1 by c1, and second line L2 x minus x2 by a2 is equal to y minus y2 by b2 is equal to z minus z2 by c2, be two skew lines. Now Cartesian form we are deriving from vector form. So in vector form, what are the notations we have? b1 bar, b2 bar, a2 bar, a1 bar. So here what is a1 bar? A1 bar means position vector of first line. First line, it is passing through which point? Okay, first line passes through the point with position vector a1 bar. Now we know that first line is passing through the point x1, y1, z1. So what is a1 bar? I can write x1i plus y1j plus z1k, and a2 bar, position vector of point through which second line is passing. Second line passes through point x2, y2, z2. So this is the position vector. You can write x2i plus y2j plus z2k. Next, b1 bar, b2 bar. So what are b1 bar, b2 bar in vector form? They are parallel vectors. Now parallel vectors with drs, a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2. So what is b1 bar? I can write parallel vector means with drs a1, b1, c1. So it is a1i plus b1j plus c1k, and b2 bar is a2i plus b2j plus c2k. So these are the vectors we are taking: a1 bar, a2 bar, and then b1 bar, b2 bar. Now substitute in this vector form. D equal to b1 cross b2 dot a2 minus a1 divided by magnitude of b1 cross b2. So here what is b1 cross b2? First we will find this cross product. How to evaluate cross product? We know a bar cross b bar can be evaluated by using determinant. Determinant of I, j, k. Now we write coefficients of first vector or components of first vector. It is a1, b1, c1. Next, components of second vector a2, b2, c2. So by expanding this, we will get b1 cross b2. Okay, expanding this, we will get b1 cross b2. Now for that we need dot product with a2 minus a1 and divided by magnitude of b1 cross b2. Okay, so here a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2, a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2. See, it is a dot b or b dot a, both are same only. Here we are taking in the form b dot a dot b, both are same because dot product obeys commutative law. So whether you take a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2 or b1 cross b2 dot a2 minus a1, both the values are same only. So here a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2, when we take the dot product of this with the cross product of b1 cross b2. So we will be getting the terms like this. a2 minus a1 means subtract this, we will get x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Okay. So whenever we have triple product, it is first vector dot cross product of these two. So this value can be determined by using determinant of components of the first vector. a2 minus a1 components are x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Then components of second vector, it is a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. So this is what numerator we have. Now denominator is nothing but the magnitude of this vector. Okay. So now by using the vector form, we can write the formula in Cartesian form. By using vector form, d is equal to what we are writing, modulus of a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2 divided by magnitude of b1 cross b2. So therefore d I can write as, numerator is this determinant. So determinant of x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. Next a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. Divided by, this is the numerator, determinant of x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. Okay. This is the numerator. Denominator, it is a magnitude of b1 cross b2. We know b1 cross b2 is this vector. So after finding this vector, we have to take its magnitude. So denominator is magnitude of determinant of I, j, k, a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2. So expanding this and writing in terms of magnitude, the formula will be complex. Okay. So instead of remembering that expanded complex form, better we remember this in terms of cross product. So we know how to evaluate the cross product by taking determinant. We will get in terms of I, j, k, that is a vector. So we have to take a magnitude of this one. Okay. So this is the formula for distance between the skew lines in a Cartesian form. Okay. So up to here we have to derive the expressions. Okay. So distance between skew lines we are evaluating both in a vector form and also in a Cartesian form. Okay. Then only it will be complete. Understand? Right. So go through these derivations. Till now we studied about 3 derivations. First is equation of line passing through point and parallel to vector. Next, equation of line passing through 2 given points. Next, third one, distance between the skew lines. Okay. So all these 3 derivations are important. Okay. So go through this. So problems will start in the next class. Okay. Thank you.